So you just got your orders and you're shipping out to Hawaii and you're trying to decide, did I just hit the jackpot or am I going to be in a tough situation? Well, in this video, we're going to go over the pros and cons of being stationed out here in Hawaii. So make sure you stick around to get all the details. See you on the other side. All right, guys, like I mentioned in this video, I am going to go over the pros and cons of being stationed out here in Oahu, Hawaii. If you just got your orders, you may be moving to one of the most beautiful places in the world, at least in my opinion, but there are some pros and cons that you may or may not be aware of and some that may be somewhat obvious, but we're going to cover those in a nice packaged video. Now, before we jump into that, let me quickly introduce myself if this is your first time here. My name is Patrick Longley. I'm a licensed real estate agent out here in Oahu, Hawaii, and have been helping military servicemen and women and veterans like yourself when it comes to their real estate needs and moving, PCSing, or selling their property out here in Hawaii. So if you guys have any questions or need any assistance, I've got my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on any of my social media platforms. I would love to hear from you, so feel free to hit me up. Now, with that being said, let's jump into the pros and cons of being stationed in Hawaii. So let's start with the pros. Some of them might be pretty obvious, but let's jump into it. Pro number one, beautiful weather year round. So I've only lived in a couple places. I've lived in California, I lived in Hawaii, and then I've lived in different parts of the country, but I've generally always lived in places that pretty much felt like summer year round. And that's pretty much what it's like here in Hawaii. We pretty much have sunny days all day, every day. Every once in a while, we'll get some clouds that come through. It'll rain for a bit, and then you'll be welcomed by a couple rainbows. And I've got a couple videos that kind of reiterate that, but generally the weather out here is always nice. And when the rain does come, it'll come for a little bit, it'll come and go, and that's pretty much it. Depending on what island you are or what side of the island you are, you may experience different types of climates. For example, if you're in Ewa and Kapolei, it tends to be less wet, more dry, and a little bit hotter. If you're in Mililani and you're stationed over at Schofield, you're gonna probably experience more rain, a little bit more lushness. And if you're on the Kailua side, on the windward side, maybe you're in the Marine Corps, you're gonna experience rain every once in a while, but not too much, and it's a little bit windier, a little bit more breezier. So you have all these different microclimates, but generally the weather is just beautiful out here year round. Pro number two, not pets, but actually beautiful beaches. So if you do have a pet like myself, this is Chewy, and you want to walk the beautiful beaches of Hawaii, you can do that very easily because we are on an island. We are surrounded by beautiful beaches. No matter what side of the island you are, there is going to be a beautiful beach nearby. I mean, I think the furthest you'd be from a beach is if you lived in Mililani. So if you're stationed in Schofield, just know that you're probably about 30 minutes from, you know, the North Shore, or even if you want to go to Kapolei, 30, 45 minutes tops, you are going to be close to a beach, right? So we have beautiful beaches all over the place. And again, they're pet friendly, so you can generally bring your little fur baby wherever you go. Pro number three is tons of outdoor recreational activities. So you can do pretty much anything because of the beautiful weather that we alluded to earlier, pretty much every day. We've got tons of hikes. You can go diving, you can go swimming, you can go snorkeling, you can go surfing, you can go foiling, windsurfing. There's so much that you can do because the weather is so great and because we're in the tropics that there's always an activity that you can participate in when you're not, of course, working. Pro number four is multicultural experiences. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, Hawaii itself is a melting pot. We have people from all over the world that want to live here and do live here. So you get a melting pot of different communities and different types of vibes. So of course, on different sides of the islands, you'll get different vibes. But again, reach out to me if you have any questions about that. But more importantly, you get to experience different cultures and different food types, which I always love. So you've got Chinese food, Japanese food, local Hawaiian food, Mediterranean food. You pretty much have all these different types of dining experiences out here because it is a melting pot where you can find different people from all over the world that bring their culture here as well as their food. And it's something that I absolutely love, where it's not the same all day, every day. You actually can experience different things every single day. And pro number five, specific for you guys, is Hawaii specifically is a military tax-free state. So all of that hard-earned money that you actually have deserved and gotten, you actually don't get taxed on it. Now again, this could change. Check with your CPA, and I'm not sure how it is on other states, but I know here in Hawaii, it is a military-free tax state, so that you won't actually get taxed on that money that you make. Okay, so that was a handful of pros. Now let's get into some of the cons. Con number one, high cost of living. Now this can come in so many different forms, and I have a video right here that breaks down more specifically what I'm talking about, which is more expensive. But anything from the cost of food when you actually go out to eat, when you go to the grocery store. Generally, electricity is really expensive out here. And of course, the cost of living when it comes to purchasing a home. And a lot of my clients, when they come out here, they're shipping from, let's say, Texas or North Carolina, and they say, well, I can buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool and a beautiful view for 350 grand. And out here in Hawaii, that'll barely get you a studio and a 1-bedroom. So there is something to be said there, but there's a reason. It's because we're in paradise. There's a high demand here. So when it comes to purchasing a home, it is expensive, and you get a lot less for what you pay for and compared to other parts of the world, but the appreciation that you get in return is exponential. I mean, on average, we see anywhere between 4 and 10%, but probably 4 to 6% every single year on your property's appreciation. So it's a great place to store cash, and more importantly, a great place to buy a property with 0 down payment with that VA loan. So again, if you guys want to get more information on how to leverage that VA loan, I actually have an amazing course that you guys should definitely check out. I sell it online, but I'll give it to you for free if you send me an email or give me a call. Got my contact information right here. Just let me know if you want to get free access to that course. It's a 50+ video course that shows you how to build wealth with your VA loan, and more specifically, how to do it out here in Hawaii. Con number 2, isolation from friends and family. So again, we're on an island. We're literally in the middle of the ocean, and a lot of people say they'll come and visit you, but from my experience, a lot of people don't. So just know that you're going to be on a major different time difference, especially if you're coming from the East Coast. Let's say you were stationed in Florida or in Alabama or what have you. You are going to be on a different time zone. You're going to be very far away from your friends and family. So you may sometimes feel that if you haven't built a community here, and I definitely suggest doing that when you actually arrive, start working on building your tribe, but you will be far away from your friends and family. So there might be a bit of disconnect there, and sometimes it can pull on the heartstrings. So just something to keep in mind. They can't just drive over to come visit you. It's kind of a large haul. Con number 3 is the traffic. Now, this is something specific for you guys to understand, because a lot of the actual bases, you most likely, depending on where you're living, are going to have to deal with this traffic. So if you are stationed, let's say at Pearl Harbor, and you're living in Ewa and Kapolei, that drive over can be only about 30 minutes. But if you're going during the rush hour times, it can literally double. It can literally turn into an hour and a half drive, because that traffic can be pretty stiff. So it's definitely something you want to look into. Figure out where you're going to be stationed, and where, if you're going to purchase a home or rent and live off base, where you want to live so you don't have to deal with the traffic. Or if you are okay dealing with the traffic, it's really in the eye of the beholder. I had a client that moved from Florida, and he literally was stationed at the Marine Corps base, but needed a big home and had a specific budget. So he lived on the west side, so west side to east side. And that's a long drive, but he's like, I'm coming from Florida. I literally have to drive an hour just to get to the grocery store. So it wasn't a big deal for him. So it's really in the eye of the beholder, but traffic is something you want to be aware of. And again, feel free to reach out to me if you want me to do some quick calculations, tell you where you should live and what the drive would probably look like. Con number 4, limited opportunities for jobs for your spouse. So out here in Hawaii, our main import or main job is basically in tourism and in construction. Now, there are some opportunities obviously in nursing. Those are probably the 3 biggest ones that we see that a lot of people get hired for. But we're on an island. There's not that much infrastructure in the sense of having a bunch of jobs. So you definitely are going to want to have your spouse, if they're looking to get a job while you are stationed out here, that they look at what job opportunities are out there, or see if you have any connections out here. And feel free to reach out to me if you're in that scenario and you need some connections. Sometimes I know some people, if you know what industry you're trying to get into, where I can kind of connect the dots for you. So again, just reach out to me. I got my contact information right here. Would love to see if I can help. Con number 5, crowded spaces. So once again, we're on an island, right? So some of the properties that you may be looking at to purchase, or even if you're just going to Waikiki to have a night out on the town, you're going to be in a somewhat tourist trap. Like, this is where people come to be on vacation and enjoy themselves. And certain areas of the island, like specifically like Waikiki or Honolulu, it's the town, it's the city. You've got the local community, and then you have our main import, which is tourism. So you have lots of people that are just running around, having a good time, enjoying themselves on vacation. So sometimes restaurants can be kind of full, can kind of be difficult to get a reservation if you don't time it accordingly, depending on where you're actually looking to eat. Or if you're looking to go surf, sometimes it can be really crowded because there's lots of tourists out there. It's just, we're on an island, so there's not that much space. So it's just something to keep in mind, that things can feel a little crowded sometimes. And again, it depends on what side of the island you're on. If you're on the North Shore, it's country, it's not that crowded. But if you have any questions, hit me up. Con number 6, moving your fur babies over here. So when you are shipping your pet over here to Hawaii, it is a bit of a process because we are a rabies-free state. I do have a video right here that goes over the process, but I'm just going to generalize and say that you need to plan at least 3 months in advance because you need to get a bunch of tests. You need to get the rabies shots, the blood test, set up the shipping of the dog on the plane, and you have to get all these documents submitted accordingly. So just make sure you check out that video. It goes over the step-by-step process, or ask any of your buddies that already got shipped out here that maybe have a pet. There's also a couple companies out there that are third party that'll pretty much handle everything for you, but they'll just kind of hold your hand through the process because it is a bit involved. But either way, just feel free to check out that video to get a step-by-step guide on how to do it. And con number 7 would be island fever. Now, sometimes when you're moving from, let's say, Texas, where there's just space all over the place, where you could drive for hours and just keep on going. Out here in Hawaii, we're on an island. You can literally drive around the entire island in a couple hours. So sometimes people tend to feel like they have island fever, they feel trapped. But one thing I would say to you is, if you participate in lots of outdoor activities and see the ocean as an extension instead of a barrier, you'll actually really enjoy yourself here. So don't stay on base or just stay in a really tight community and not do anything. Like, get out there, enjoy yourself. You're in Hawaii. You're gonna be here for 3 years, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. Enjoy this chapter in your life. It's an amazing opportunity where you can have this different lifestyle, where you're gonna have super crystal clear warm waters. You've got beautiful hikes that people pay thousands of dollars just to get here to enjoy for a couple days and then leave and go back to the snow. Take advantage of this opportunity and enjoy it, embrace it. So that's pretty much it, guys. Those are your pros and cons of being stationed out here in Oahu, Hawaii. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I got my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on any of my social media platforms. And if you guys could do me one last huge favor, it really gets me fired up, helps with the algorithm, is if you could smash that like button as well as click the subscribe and notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop videos just like this. I truly appreciate it. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm Patrick with PatrickLawrenRealty.com, powered by eXp Realty. Hope you have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.